Alright, here we go, 2025 Channel 13 from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is going to be the daytime tour video. Mossy scene, pretty similar to last year. A few more tombstones and animatronics though. So we got the zombie swing girl. Put Trixie up front here, she's new for this year. Rocking doll horse, new to me, not necessarily new to this year. She's been around, but didn't quite like the placement up here. I wanted to put her kind of more back there, but she just doesn't rock on these rocks unless she's on a flat surface. So now the front's kind of crowded. And then we got the soul harvesting witch. She's also new for this year. She's awesome. We got her fog right back there. There's all the moss. This is one of my new mossy tombstones for this year. I think it's awesome. And then that tall one in the back is new for this year. It's really light and hollow on the inside though, so that's why we have a support bar back there, just so the wind doesn't blow it over. And then we got the Ring Around the Rosie children. Everything else is pretty similar in here. Then we got the butcher shop, or as I like to call it, the carnivorous cabinet. Went with these gauze covers this year. It's a lot better than it was last year on the coverage for the front. Once you step inside, got man's possessed friend right as soon as you walk in. And then buzzsaw over there. Got this skinned guy here. The grill. Lots more painting body parts this year than last year. And then we got this table. There's a jar of ears, jar of teeth, and then all the maggots and everything else. Here's all of our tools. And then we got red floodlights up there that'll make all this red. The scent for in here is called Burning Flesh, and that's in the fog machine right there, which will come out through the grill. And then we enter the asylum. I went with these shredded fabrics this year. A lot easier than hanging all that freaky fabric I did last year. Still getting pretty good coverage. Got all the black light writing, pretty similar to last year. We got Peekaboo Penny here, all the Victorian era pictures. We got the wrought iron industrial lamps from last year. Rat Girl, she's swinging right in the middle of the pathway here. What did change about this front hallway this year though, I was able to get a hold of, this is a 2012 prop I think from Spirit, and I found someone who had one brand new in box, never been opened, still had the factory plastic on it. So I picked it up and it's just amazing. I like it, it's really great. Lights up, shakes around. Plus it's just really nice looking for a Halloween prop. And then this year we got Backbend Bonnie right here. Her sensor works really well, so she gets going right away, and she helps trigger the convulsing nurse after she screams, which is nice because the convulsing nurse does not have a good sensor. But here's the medical room. Just like last year, we got all the syringes, little bloody tools. Installed these new LED black lights this year. Got a lot more black light action in here. Got the same gauze backdrop. Here's a convulsing nurse, IV stands. And then when we go into the medical room, got Double Trouble here, John Doe, the hospital bed. Got the nurse's cart here with all the little tools. Got the nightstand over there with the haunted book. Got the toilet. Got the TV up there. And then New for this year is Celeste. And her arms move up and down and you hear her playing the strings, but yet the animatronic came with this really cheesy spiderweb mesh and I didn't like it, so I tossed that and I ran these gold strings in there myself. So now it looks like, yeah, I mean, you're hearing what she's playing, so she's really cool though. I mean, she jumped all the way up to possibly my favorite animatronic I own. Then we got Evelyn Leach here. Gave her a little bit more blood this year and sprayed up on the veil. And then we enter the God Ends Here room. And we got Levitator Girl, Pentagram, Upside Down Crosses. Nothing really changed in here, it's all the same. We got the Floating Ghost Girl and Broken Spine Girl. More black light writing and more black lights. Exit through the shredded freaky fabric and we make our way into the harvest. And just like last year, the path is all covered up with straw and leaves. And then as you can see on the sides here and also down there, we have these IR sensors that trip animatronics. So the first one we see here, once we walk past it here, is going to trigger the Scarecrow with the ravens. And then here will trigger the Sinister Strawman. And there's an orange spotlight that hits the windmill. And so he's actually pretty well covered. You don't notice him until he springs up over the corn stalks here, and it's pretty cool looking. Came out great. Went with quite a few more corn stalks than last year. A few more pumpkins as well, but the pumpkins are pretty full, so I can't really add too many more there. There's the straw man, a lot more corn stalks. And then we got the lunging pumpkin carver. That's her pumpkin there. And then last year I really had troubles with the Maestro going because he doesn't have an always on, and because of his position, he just doesn't turn on by motion. So we also went with an IR sensor for him. Those are right here. As soon as we step here, that'll turn him on over there right before you enter the carnival, so that's kind of a nice touch. And now we enter the carnival here. Got the entryway tent here, the pool noodles, all that's the same. First thing we will see is the concession stand. I did a little more with it this year. We got these kind of clown pumpkins as post toppers. I added a couple of new masks, so we got 5 in total now. And then we got Heckles, getting ready to blow up some red balloons for him. Haven't done that yet. Got Lucky Bottoms. Poor George. Put the popcorn machine back in the corner over here. Wheels falling off and buried, so it's just a good look there. Oh, we got the Thrashing Clown, but he hasn't worked for years, so he's just stationary now, static prop. And then we got the Trickster Trio. Put him up against this column here. I actually like it. I think it's a good spot for them. They're not sticking out of the tent like they were last year when I had them over there. And then we got Harriet Hustle in her usual position. Just works way too well there. And then we enter the black light reactive area. And we got Wacky Mole. This year covered the door as well because I did it last year and it just looked goofy. So now it's completely covered back here. Also went with twice the black lights. And then doing fog this year in the carnival. And got the carnival scent for it back there, which is popcorn and funnel cake, I think is how they put it. And we got Bag of Jokes and the Funhouse Mirror. Once we leave the carnival, we're going into the Black Forest. Got our black light up there. This year I added a flat black laser to hit all the fog, because last year I noticed how much fog comes through here from the cemetery. So that'll create a cool effect. And then those awesome trees, of course, from Spirit's ISE a couple years ago. And then we come into the altar. And I went with a different wood backdrop this year. I like it. It looks pretty good. Since it was vertical rather than horizontal, it was easier to hang up to. Got all the floating candles up there. Still got to put the batteries in. We got these skulls, moss, my Bayou candles. Got this little rotten, mossy skeleton guy here. And then new for this year is Nightshade Witch. You can change the color of her broom, the LEDs that shine on her, and then also her eyes. For the eyes, I went with the cat eye ones. I just think they're the creepiest looking ones. The rest are kind of goofy. And then pentagrams, all that stuff is up there. And then for the altar table, rather than my Ouija board here, I went with the one that I usually have in the asylum. I think it just makes more sense out here to be on the altar table since it moves by itself and everything. And then we got the Wicca cats, of course, the skull, the crystal, tarot cards, candles, smudging sage, all that good stuff. There's the Cauldroness. She's got her fog. And then the scent in here is called Witch's Delight, which just kind of smells like potion and apple, I guess. And then we got Lethal Lily. Still having issues with her falling apart, in addition to her arm breaking a couple years ago that I had to JB weld. Now the frog's arm fell off, so I had to glue that back on. So, and then under her staff kind of broke at one of these points here. Yeah, there it is right there. So just guess that's what I get for buying a floor model. I should have tried to find one brand new in box. And then here's the cemetery this year. I think the cemetery probably went through the biggest transformation this year. We'll start over here. We got our same backdrops. I bought a couple of these ghost trees, hoping that they'll help fill out this area that's just treeless, but to be honest, they're pretty cheap and flimsy, and I just don't know how long they're gonna last. Got the Pumpkin Guardian, got the Bride in Black, same fog setup as last year with the tubes, fans to push it out. There'll be frozen bottles of water in there to help chill it. Got all these tombstones here. This 4-foot Raven mausoleum is from last year. This cathedral tombstone is new for this year. Got my lamps. The angel and the cross are from last year. This 8-foot obelisk mausoleum is new for this year. I mean, it's gigantic. Had to make it the centerpiece. It's awesome. And then got these ones. My upside down cross tombstone over there still has that flaming light in it. And then this is the 9-foot ghost from Sam's Club this year. And I mean, that the tombstone alone is at like 5.5 feet. And then she ends up peaking at about 9 feet. It's crazy. She'll swing back and forth. She lights up blue. The tombstone lights up. It's pretty cool. Always needed a ghost out here, so I'm glad I finally got one. Just never really liked any of the other ghost animatronics. This tombstone was new for this year. And then we got the twitching banshee. We got my tombstone shovel. We got Molly, who's menacing. And then there's that tombstone. I got the grave digger with all of his coffins. The 5-foot obelisk mausoleum from last year. More tombstones that were all from last year. There's my other light. And then centering all this year is the grave dancer. And I really had quite a problem with her. The first one I ordered, she's online only. And the first one that got delivered to me was defective. She didn't work at all. only one eye lit up. She didn't move. Her mouth moved and she talked, but that was about it. But she didn't do her dance that she does. So sent her back. They gave me a shipping label to return her. They sent me another one, and again, this time also didn't work. So same issues. So at this point I thought, how could I possibly go for 2? So maybe I'm just doing something wrong even though I'm following the instruction book. So I look up a couple of YouTube videos of step-by-step build for her, and it turns out I did everything right. So I'm like, okay, I guess it just happened to get 2 defectives. So again, I open up a return. They send me a shipping label. I send her back, and they send me a third one. And the third one, no kidding, didn't work either. And this is the third one right here. And so the third time I call, and at this point, they just issue me a refund. And I didn't want another one because I was just convinced that they don't work. So they told me just to dispose of this one how I feel. And so I decided that she'd be pretty cool. And at this point, I had already tore her down and put her back in box. And so I was like, well, maybe, you know, because her mouth still moves and these one's eyes actually light up. She just doesn't sway back and forth. So I thought I'd use her as at least a static prop that can still talk and have light up eyes and stuff. So I went ahead and built her and didn't do anything different that I didn't do the previous 3 times. And all of a sudden she works. I don't know why. I don't know how, but she works perfectly fine now. I brought her out here, plugged her in. She's working perfectly fine. So we will take it. It's like a best case scenario. But that is it for the daytime tour video. Oh yeah, real quick, we also have a scent out here as well. It's called Walk the Grounds. It's supposed to be earthy and decay, basically. So that kind of covers all of our scents. We got burning flesh in the butcher shop, and then we got asylum scent in the asylum, which is hospital supplies, and then we got harvest scent in the harvest, which is fall leaf and pumpkin. We got carnival scent in the carnival, which is funnel cake and popcorn, and then we got the witch's delight here in the altar, which is the potion and apple, and then we got walk the grounds out here in the cemetery, which is earthy and decay. So all scents have scenes this year, or all scenes have scents. Alright, until the nighttime video.